This is so reminiscent of the Ethan Allen Homestead Tavern. Very similar bar and seating. That's the side saddle in front of us. Taverns weren't just for drinking. They were also for eating. Don't forget that this would be a stop for stagecoaches, stop for the ferries. It's a stop. What do travelers want? They want something to eat, something to drink. They want to find out what's going on in the area. So they want all the latest news. They may want to stay as well for lodging. And some taverns had a ballroom also, typically on the second floor. So maybe they had one of those too. And they certainly would have a fireplace such as this one has. The implements you see in there for cooking. This piece that's farther off to the left, that one right there, that's a bed warmer. So you put the embers from the fire into that, slide it under the bed, and it will warm up the bed for you. There's a pot in the center, good for stews and soups. The andirons, these two things right here, would hold the logs in place. You can see this bucket here is being used to hold small chunks of wood. They would have kept the implements probably exactly where we see them, leaning up against the fireplace itself. This is a set of tongs to take something out of the fire. Clearly you don't want to reach in with your hands. Now, women likely wore woolen dresses or woolen aprons to protect themselves from the flames because wool is a natural fire retardant material. You may get an ember on you, it may even flash briefly, but the fire goes out because that's what it does. That's what it's known for doing. That big silver plate in the center there, that's called a trencher, maybe a tranche. Anyway, it's a plate. It's not a, pretty sure that's not a serving platter. I'm pretty sure that is a plate. The metal behind the candles was used to reflect light into the room. This side saddle was owned by Mandana Holmes circa 1790. That's a woman sat on a horse, she wrote side saddle. I think that'd be scary personally, but maybe that could be just me. Mandana Holmes used this side saddle about 1790 when she and her family rode from their home in Connecticut to Vermont. Oh my God, that's a long ride. They are listed in the 1800 census as living in Moncton. She married Arza Crane in 1804 and moved to Addison, a few miles north of here, in 1814. Her husband was a partner with Asahel Barnes of Chimneypoint in the ferry business. Their daughter Ellen married Barnes in 1849. Mandana's grandson, Millard Barnes, said this side saddle was one of his most treasured possessions. The floor, the boards are not as wide as I would have thought they would be, given 1785, but and the floor is dipped, so alrighty, so this is Asahel Barnes Sr. I'll go ahead and say it because you may be thinking it. He reminds me of Moe from the Three Stooges. Anyone else? So Benjamin Payne likely built this tavern around 1785 after the American Revolution was over and it was safe to travel again. He was in this area by the fall of 1778 when he was captured with other men during British Major Christopher Carlson's raid on the Champlain Valley region. He escaped from prison in Quebec in May 1780. Payne made his way back home, and by 1784 he was a lister for the town of Addison. A 1789 map, Vermont, shows the location of Payne's Tavern on this spot. His family and he appear on the 1791 federal census. Before 1792, the county court held one or more sessions in Payne's house. By 1798, the house and land passed to James Lewis, the husband of the Paynes' adopted daughter. Lewis then sold his 160-acre holding, including the Chimneypoint Tavern, to Asahel Barnes Sr., who was originally from Bristol, Connecticut. The property remained largely in the Barnes family until 1966, when Millard Barnes' widow sold it to the state of Vermont for an historic site and recreational area. So this is the tavern where we're standing right now, right here, before the addition of the porch. When we go outside, I'll show you the porch again. So far right is Millard Barnes, and these are unidentified guests he's standing with. So there he is, right there. I love old photos. Moses Bradley pottery. I love this chimney, where it would have been what's it called? When you heat it up to bake it. That's a kiln right there. Isn't that gorgeous? Man. Moses Bradley was one of Vermont's earliest red ware potters. And this is a bunch of fragments of that pottery. Oh, so I walked by the stove here. Of course, I don't want you to film this. It's old. Cast iron cooking stove, Middlebury, Vermont, made by a Jonathan Wainwright manufacturer. He lived 1786 to 1845. Let me do a close-up of here so you can read it at your leisure. The place closes at 5. I want to cover some more material, so. Colonial tap room or 20th century tourist attraction. Popular tradition claims that Ethan Allen planned the 1775 capture of Fort Ticonderoga in this tap room. Another colorful legend states that during one of their many visits to the tap room, Ethan Allen and Seth Warner narrowly escaped arrest by British soldiers from Crown Point by feigning drunkenness and slipping out of the tavern. Land records, documents, and an architectural survey, however, indicate that the building could not have been built until the late 1780s or 1790s. Many architectural elements in this room date to the 1820s, well after the Revolution and the alleged events. Millard Barnes used this tavern room, perhaps installed by his grandfather, to romanticize and promote his inn. How fun is that?